Welcome to the Instigators Hockey Show. I'm the crazy Paulie D. I got it right this time. That is Chris Katsopoulos. He's ready for the summertime with the shades.
Different kind of beer tonight, too. Little shock top, Belgian white.
Paulie D,
You know,
little shock top, little
shock top.
Instigators
Got the
logo.
sunglasses on. It's golfing season for everybody now.
I just got back from Miami.
Are you going to spill the beans about that one of these days? Or are we still,
Big
it's still a
boy.
code of silence?
I am going to
Still
spill
a
the
code of
beans
silence.
right now. I'm a Hollywood hero right now. Okay, so check it out. I was in Fort Lauderdale, Miami, you name it, South Florida, as much as possible for last week, doing a shoot with my cousin. It's called Capo Rise to Power. Check it out on Instagram, Facebook, anywhere you want to go. Pretty excited. Jimmy Barbarese, he cast me in a little bit of this, and I'm not going to tell you what I did, but I had a lot of fun. I was a tough guy. I was a goon. I'm coming for you. I might show a picture or two on my page. But anyway, it was a good time. I love my cousin. The guy, he's so passionate about the things that he does, and I love him so much. Him and I have been best friends for ever, and we just so happen to be related. We're 6 months apart exactly to the day, and we've spent our lives together doing a lot of cool things. But anyway, he cast me in a small part in this, and hopefully he writes me into this thing. I think it's going to take off. Check it out. It's Capo, C-A-P-O, Rise to Power. I'm going to be posting some things on both my personal page, and I'll do a couple on the show page. But was there for about 6 days. Did a bunch of shooting. It was a lot of fun. So I'm very excited about it. Should be hitting the screens here. Probably, I would say the first episodes probably come out around December. I think they said something about October, but I'll get you more information there. Other than that, that's all I can share. I signed an agreement not to disclose too much. So, with that, let's get into the hockey. That's why we weren't here last week a little bit. I was out of town, had some things to do. Obviously, this is going to be our closeout show for the season. It's been a on and off crazy season for all of us. I first and foremost, before we get crazy, I want to thank Beth. Beth battled cancer this year. Just a tough, strong. I'm so proud of her, and I was texting and talking to her a little bit last night, and she says, I'm trying. And I said, no, you're not trying. You're doing it. So, Beth, we are so proud.
She's done a great job. You know what? She can play on our team any day. You know that.
That's it. She's on our team.
Get that thank you. We're going to play.
And I'm not the easiest guy to get a hold of and work with. Let me tell you, people, I got a lot of things going on. So I'll just shoot her a text. Hey, we're going to go on tomorrow. She's like,
shit going on, people.
Thanks for the notice, big boy. I appreciate it. But listen, I'm excited about next year because I'm making some promises and I'm going to keep them. We're going to incorporate video. We're going to have players on. I'll be in the new studio. It's almost done. I actually showed Katsi some pictures, but by the summer it'll be done, and then we'll be in. With that being said, other than that, I just want to thank everyone for the support. Barry Shelley, you're a class act. You're a gentleman, and I appreciate everything that you do. The support is amazing. With Rink of Dreams, and then obviously everybody else, all the friends that we have, and everybody that posts in the Instigator show on Facebook. I think we have almost 700 members there, so it's really good. Please share and subscribe to this stuff. Go ahead, Cots.
Do that.
What do you got, Cots?
Well, first, another shitty time for us ex-Maple Leafs and Toronto fans up in Canada and Toronto. Jim Pappen passed away, and I know a lot of people don't even know who he is, but for us that grew up in the original six, watching the original six, yes, I'm that old, people. He was the last guy to score a winning goal for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the Stanley Cup in 1967. Now, there's a little bit of a rumor there that Pete Stemkowski actually scored the goal, but he gave it to Pappen So Jimmy could get a little bonus in his contract because Punch Imlach was such a prick. Anyhow, but Jim Pappin passed away. Great player, big part of that Toronto team. Then he went on to Chicago, They had a great line there in Chicago, and he had a great career. And it's sad to hear that he's passed away. And my condolences to him and his family and all the friends and all the fans around the world that know who Jim Pappin was. So that's that. Like, I hate starting off like that, Paulie, but I grew up watching the original six. You weren't old enough yet. I'm looking at you.
Well, I'm still in love with the original six, and I want to say, now that we're mentioning it, I mean, obviously this was a really.
I'll take my shades off now. Go ahead.
Yeah, this was a really tough year for hockey. I mean, even as a Ranger fan,
Yeah.
I mean, lost Clark Gillies this year, lost Mike Bossy this year, lost
Sheen Potvin,
yeah,
Roger Bear.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it this or wasn't Pot? It was Gilbert. I mean, a lot of influential people in the game of hockey were lost this year.
And Guy Lafleur. I mean, there's so many.
Guy Lafleur, yeah. So I mean, I don't have a list. I'm just going off the top of my head, but I just know that it was, just a tough year for the loss in some of the really hard workers in the game that really helped a lot of franchises. So. Other than that, guys, again, for the final time, and then we're going to move on. Make sure you're sharing our program with everyone that you can. If you can share it on your Facebook page or Instagram, that'd be great. The more people that join and get involved, the bigger our show becomes. Next year, we're going to have merchandise. We had it this year. We really didn't get off to a great start. We'll definitely have shirts, and I'm working on hats and other things like that. I'm going to go with the company. Actually, Chris's son turned me on to it. We're going to go with those. So we'll make that available. And like I said, the show is going to be phenomenal. If you have a business and you want to advertise with us, I could write you a spot and we could talk about it on the show. Live read-ins all day long. I'll have more information on that as well. But I will tell you that when we were on Blog Talk Radio, we had over 700,000 listens by the time we were done. So we reached all kinds of markets in Toronto, and, we're in New York, we're in Toronto, we're in Florida, we're in all kinds of places. So that being said, let's move ahead to some of the other things we got to talk about.
There might be something in my ear, but I can't hear any crying from Tampa. Down in Tampa.
Okay. So I got to say,
is it still there? I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. A lot of crying.
On their feet like little juvenile delinquents or what? What's going on?
No, I was supposed
You're there. You live there, so you got to tell me, man. What's going on?
I'm going to tell you. I was supposed to head to Miami in Game 4, okay? It was a Wednesday night. I got tickets to go. Can't tell you I can't tell you how. I got tickets to go on seven rows from the ice. I took my oldest daughter with me because she loves hockey, and that's the game that Kadri scores, and they can't find the puck. And I was right there, and I'm like, that went in the net. I'm telling you, that went in the net because you couldn't find the puck. Nobody could see the puck. It didn't go in the air. Wasn't in Vasilevsky's uniform. What I said, that's in the net. I'm telling you, I was there.
Yeah.
Sure enough, they went nuts. My daughter and I are high-fiving each other in the middle of Tampa, and everybody was so upset. But we were rooting Avalanche the whole way. And, right then and there, I knew. I was like, okay, they're up 3-1. They got a little cushion. But I got to tell you that, and I say this a lot, and I don't mean disrespect to the True Blue fans, but there's so many bandwagoners. And actually, a guy in the stands, he had a Nordique shirt on.
Whoa,
and obviously, me having my hockey education that I have, I said, there's probably not a lot of Tampa fans that even know what that shirt is, my man. And he looked at me and he said, you're absolutely right. There's not a lot of Tampa fans that have any idea what this shirt is. And it's true. I hate to say it. So anyway, I was there Game 4. They had gone up 3-1 at that point. And then I had to go to Fort Lauderdale and Miami. And I watched the final game on my phone.
Yeah, listen, nothing against Tampa. I told you at the beginning of the year that I didn't think they could three-peat. They came close. I'll give them credit for that. But I remember how I was like really harsh about it. I said, it's tough to three-peat, Paulie. And they proved me right. And let's give Colorado a lot of credit, though. You know, they're a team that was kind of like Tampa. I think I've mentioned this before in our shows. They were supposed to win the past probably 3, 4, 5 years and never could. They couldn't even get out of the second round. But now, boy, oh boy, what a perfect. I think it's a perfect team put together by Joe Sakic and a good buddy of mine, Brad Smith. I think is one of their head scouts. Guy played with in Toronto, played juniors with. They put a team together, Paulie, that the NHL should take notice with. It's not just you can't just have small skill guys anymore. You have to have big skills guys with speed. I mean, there's not a small player on that team really in Tampa. I mean, in Colorado, not a small player at all. I mean, if you get to small, you might be talking about 5'11", 190. That's not small. You know what I mean? And they're fast. They're big. They're fast. They're skilled. They had enough toughness on the back end with Eric Johnson and Josh Manson. And I know you're going to disagree with me, but in the end, I mean, I know Kemper, he allowed a couple, soft goals throughout the playoffs. But he battled Vasilevsky even, I think, Paulie. And in the end, he let one less goal in the other than the king of goaltenders, Vasilevsky. So Colorado was much deserving of this Stanley Cup. Let's call it what it is. They were the better team. I don't want to hear any crying about this call, that call, this call, that call, because if Tampa tells the truth to themselves, they were lucky to get by the Leafs on a few shitty calls. They were lucky to get by the Rangers because of a few shitty calls. So when the calls started going against them a little bit in the Stanley Cup final, now we have to put the bib on and get the thumb in their mouth and start crying like little girls. You know what I mean? Right. And I don't know how much crying's still going on, but it seems to be, now they're exposing this, injuries, this, that. Listen, I didn't play in a Stanley Cup final. I played in a conference final 1 year, played in the second round, going to the third round. Everybody plays with injuries. You don't need to expose that story. That's my feeling. I'm old school on that shit. You're going to sit there and tell me that not one team that made the playoffs this year played everybody was healthy?
Right?
You're dreaming if that's...
Everyone's hurt in the playoffs.
Everybody gets hurt, and players play hurt, period.
You know what a great...
To use it as a crutch right now, I'm not happy about that person. That's just the old school of me.
Kasi, and that bodes well for my point, okay? Here's the problem with the Tampa championships and the Tampa fans. They won COVID Cups. They never had to play an 82-game season. They never had to do the amount of traveling. They never had to do this. That's why they couldn't win before. And that's why they didn't win this time. They want to complain about everything. Oh, the play's offsides. Shut the fuck up, Cooper. You got more calls than you can imagine. He wanted to cry about the game 4 or game 6 or whatever game it was that he lost because there were too many men on the ice. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
He forgot to count the 7 he had on the ice at the time.
Exactly. He has more calls throughout these last 3 years and more non-calls and everything else. My cousin made a big point because he's a big Islander fan. He said last year when the Islanders lost to them, Tampa had 7 guys on the ice, and he circled them and sent it over.
In a 2-1 game. I remember that. It was a 2-1 game that Tampa won and got 7 men on the ice. That was Trotz. I see there's a video of Trotz screaming at the ref. There were 7 guys on the ice. So all I'm saying here is that every team loves it when they get all the right calls.
Sure.
I'm not going to deny that.
And the injury.
And you're gonna be like this. Shh, we got away with that one. We got away with that one. But when the shit doesn't go your way, now you're gonna cry.
Right. Exactly. Listen, let's face it.
You're just
And
not being honest. They're not being honest. That's all.
let's face the hard facts. There's no doubt in my mind. I watched every game except for one and was live at one. I was at one and I missed one, but I watched it online. I really thought the Avalanche would dominate. I know you said Kemper was the better goalie because he let one less in, and I get that theory. But I honestly think that if Kemper was hot and everything he could have been, I think they could have swept Tampa because I thought they were that much better of a team. I really thought Colorado's puck possession was amazing. I thought their tenacity was amazing. I thought they played the body. I just thought that they played such good hockey. There were a couple of goals that I felt should have never went in. But with that being said, like you said, Katz, he let in one less goal. They won in 6 games. It is what it is. But I think by far the Avalanche were a much better hockey team.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm just going to leave this with one more thing. Did everybody in the world miss that when Patrick Maroon broke a stick over Josh Manson in front of the net there?
Everybody missed it, of course. Nobody has anything to say about it.
He broke a stick over his legs in front of the whole world, in front of the 4 blind mice on the ice, and then they want to complain? You can't complain when you get it one way and you don't get it the other, okay? It's the way hockey is. Did Colorado get some advantage calls? Absolutely. But so did Tampa throughout the whole playoffs.
Sure.
So I don't want to hear any more bullshit from anybody about it. Cry all you want. Nobody cares anymore. Colorado's are the champ. That's it. And Kotze was right. You can't win 3 in a row. What's that? I need a beer.
Well, listen, that I gotta tell you that it's hard. It's hard because being here in Tampa, I don't root for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And there's a lot of different reasons why, but I'll be honest with you, it's really because of the fans, because they have some really good players.
Oh, absolutely.
But the bottom line is this: I'm just not a fan. I'm not a fan of the fan base. It really is kind of aggravating, and it's very it's frustrating with the ignorance. But with that being said, to look at Colorado and what they were able to do this year. I mean, Edmonton, man, did Edmonton get hot coming into the playoffs. They were probably – because there was a time, Cox, we did shows, and Edmonton, they were out of the playoff position.
Oh, yeah.
They were out of it. They just came roaring back in the last month and a half, and they were so hot. When they beat Calgary, I mean, they came in – they were a confident group. They scored on will, man. That team can score on will. Connor McDavid actually showed the world that he's the best hockey player in the world. Draisaitl was injured and still played very well. They're all-around game. But I'll tell you what, man, this Colorado Avalanche team just constantly showed night in and night out, no matter what's going to happen, they're in the game. They did it with St. Louis. They did it, and they played some tough teams. They beat Nashville. They beat St. Louis. They beat Edmonton, and then they had to go on and beat the Stanley Cup champions.
There's one thing that I want to mention. What makes Colorado really, really good outside the obvious? If you watch the series really close against Tampa had a pretty good time in the previous series when they were making plays in their own end, going D to D, D to D, up the middle, up to the blue line passes. They had a great, fairly easy time against the Rangers, the Leafs, and whoever else they played, okay?
Right.
Against Colorado, they didn't have that time. The puck was going D to D. There was a guy on him already. That's how good Colorado and how fast they were. They didn't give Tampa a lot of time, that extra split second that they got in the first 2 rounds. That's what I'm trying to get at here. If you really watched it close, they just didn't give them any time, and that's how they ended up beating them. Tampa, sure, Tampa could still score goals and all that, but they didn't have an easy time doing it, Paulie, is what I'm saying. They didn't have an easy time doing it because Colorado, great defensively, great offensively, and again, I think New York Rangers, speed and size, not speed and no size, speed and size is what you need. And that's what Colorado has. Colorado's a big squad, and they're a fast squad. And obviously, with Kyle McCarr, I mean, you and I were talking about just before we got on here. My God, even Bobby Orr reached out to him and congratulated him on winning the Conn Smythe and the Stanley Cup and the Norris and all this shit.
I mean, come on.
He hasn't got enough arms to carry all the awards.
All the awards. This kid, if you're a hockey fan and you don't know Cal McCarr, I hope you know him now. This kid, I watched him live. I've been watching tape for him. I've been watching video of him when he was in college till now. And I got to tell you, man, I am – and it takes a lot. I'm not a starstruck guy. This kid can play this game, man. His decision-making, his hands, his ability – man, when you get compared to Bobby Orr, the greatest in the world, Bobby Orr is the Wayne Gretzky of defense, guys. If you don't know that, now you know it. But, I mean, when people compare you to Bobby Orr, that is some serious comparisons. It's like being a forward being compared to Wayne Gretzky. Oh, he's Wayne Gretzky-esque. It's like, wait, what? Who? Like, Bobby Orr is the greatest defenseman to ever play this game in many different aspects. He was just such a complete person, complete player. When Cale Makar gets those type of mentions, I mean, Bobby Orr played in a different era, guys, so it's a different type of game. But when you get a mention that he sees the puck, he sees the ice like Bobby, he has the hands like Bobby, he can make a pass like Bobby, those things are important to listen to. This kid is freaking dynamic when it comes to the game. And boy, oh boy, like Kotze said, he don't have enough hands to hold the silver he's sporting right now.
And he's only 23.
Imagine that. 23. I would trade anybody on the team for him.
Yeah, you wouldn't be wrong. You wouldn't be wrong. That'd be a good building block to start with. But you got to give Colorado credit. They did a great job scouting and finding this guy. You know what I mean? Adding to that team, and again, congratulations to the Colorado Avalanche. They were a team out west that us out in the East Coast. We really didn't get to see a lot of, obviously, unless you got the hockey package. But they're the Stanley Cup champs, and you can't take it away from them. They were the better team throughout the playoffs. And the old saying goes, Paulie, the best team won.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm tired of hearing
this. At least you got to see a couple Stanley Cup games.
I did, man. I went
you weaseled your way into the building there as a Tampa hitting.
I was at 2 games against Toronto, 1 game against
the Rangers.
I was 1 game Rangers and then 1 game Colorado. And I'll tell you what, that was the first time I was at a Stanley Cup. That was the first time I was at a Stanley Cup game. I had never been to a Stanley Cup game, and that was something I wanted to do. So one of my bucket list is to go to every arena in Canada and U.S. And I've been to about 4 of them now, so I got a long way to go. And
you know what you need to do? You need to tell that company you work for to get that big B&W 4x4. Come on by here in Pennsylvania, pick the big boy up, and maybe we'll do a northern tour, you and I.
So I want to go to at least 1 game in every arena in hockey.
Well, next I want to talk about is defense partner of mine, Luke Richardson, now the head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks. Luke Richardson was I can't remember what we drafted him in Toronto. He was a first round pick, and he partnered with me. It's basically his first year and a half. Really good player. I mean, he played 21 seasons, obviously. I mean, if you play 21 seasons in the National Hockey League, that just speaks for itself there. But he's done a fine job being assistant coach in Ottawa and Montreal, and he's going to Chicago now. And I'm real happy for Luke Richardson. He's done a pretty good job, like I said, being assistant coach. I think he's ready to handle that head coaching job. But the coaching carousel continues. Jim Montgomery is now going to be the head coach in Boston. Derek Lalonde, the assistant coach of Tampa, is now going to be the coach in Detroit. It just goes on and on. I mean, I don't mind the Derek Lalonde and the Luke Richardson thing, but I'm trying to figure out why the NHL and all sports continue to just rotate these guys around after they've been fired somewhere else, did lousy somewhere else. Like Jim Montgomery, I don't know you as a person, but you've been a failure as a head coach. Now you're getting hired to coach one of the most prestigious organizations, Boston. Why does this continue to happen? I have no idea. Is there not enough people out there qualified? But I don't know. I shake my head all the time at this stuff.
I'm not quite sure why Boston really got rid of their coach, to be honest, because I didn't think
it's the way it always goes, Paul. They rehired Sweeney, the GM. He got another extension, so him, Cam Neely, they're going to solidify their positions in an organization like that for themselves. And if it means getting rid of a coach and using that as a way to express yourself that we need a change here in our organization, that's what usually happens first. Your favorite guy, Uncle Vinny's in Philly. Think about your boy Uncle Vinny. I got a lot
of Uncle Vinny's this week, boy. Let me tell you.
And you have a bit of a, we'll call it what it is, a little bit of a hard on for the guy. I kind of like the guy. I'm not telling you he's the greatest or the worst. I mean, I've always liked Torts, but I'm just saying it's really weird how
not a fan.
The recycling just keeps going around and around for certain organizations.
The guy who's worked it to me would be Barry Trotz. I got to acknowledge
he's turned it all down. He says he wants to take time off.
And I got to tell you, I was talking to my cousin because he's an Islander fan, by the way. I said, I'm really surprised that the Islanders let, this coach go. And he said, the rumor has it that Barry wants to spend more time with his family and it's probably going to walk away from hockey. Does he have an autistic son or something, Kotz?
I don't know that part of it. It's possible.
He either have an autistic son or an autistic grandchild or something. But apparently he was walking away from the game. That's why he left the Islanders. He retired. He put in his resignation there. I guess he entertained a couple of things, but rumor has it that he wants to spend time with his family.
Oh, I've heard that.
He has a disabled child of some type, or
tell your cousin. One thing's for sure, and I'm a big fan of Lou Lamoriello as a GM.
Yeah,
but he's probably not the easiest guy to work for as a coach. Because if you look at his history,
I'm sure
he's let go of a lot of big name coaches, even after they've won Stanley Cups there in Jersey. Yeah. So. Maybe that was part of it too, that it's tough to coach a team where Lou's technically the president GM of your team, but he's still running the show like when it comes to everything else. So I don't know. And I'm a big fan of Lou Lamoriello. I think Lou does a great job of putting teams together, putting players together. But, Trotz is a great coach. He's proved it. He took Nashville, put them on the map. They had a couple teams where they could have, should have, would have, but they didn't. But at least he put them on the map. He finally straightened out that mess in Washington and got Alex Ovechkin to shut the fuck up for a moment and become a team player. You know what I mean? And they won a Stanley Cup. Took the Islanders within one game, Tampa. So Barry Trotz got nothing to be ashamed of getting let go by the Islanders or resigning, whatever it was. And I think he'll be back. He'll be back.
Yeah, he resigned.
Take some time off. That's all.
So, here's what I want to do. We got Barry over there in the.
See that? I actually turned it on today.
Yeah, he got it. Listen, Cots, and I want to do this. We can do some of it right now, and then we'll get back into it. But Barry, give me the dates in August because I always have to plan ahead. Unfortunately, I have a very.
Barry wants to know what concerts. I got so many concerts coming up.
Well,
let's go see.
I really would like to go to the Rink of Dreams. I think you and I should go.
Well, if you show your listen, you know where I am. It's on the way there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would probably fly there, big boy.
Well, you fly, get to my house, or I'll pick you up at the airport. We'll go from there.
Perfect.
But you better. I don't want you flying into LaGuardia or whatever there. So we're there for like 8 hours.
No, fly me into the Pennsylvania one.
Fly into Allentown or Scranton.
Okay, I'll fly into Pennsylvania and we'll go from there. Barry, we're gonna make this trip happen. August 12th and the 14th. I'm gonna put it down. Beth, if you're healthy, I want to see if we can get you there as well.
If it's in August, there's Michael Mason. I think you're watching the show too tonight. He's invited me out to Long Island for good Italian dinner.
I got family in Long Island.
Well, then there we go. We can make it a big party.
Oh, boy, we're gonna
get ready. Get your ass ready.
We're gonna make a summer trip. I got a lot of friends and family on Long Island
and what concert am I gonna go see? We're gonna go see on the 18th, I think, Barry, this month in July. We're going to Pier 17 in New York through Michael Mason and a friend, his James Triglia, who got us free passes for the Cult Black Rebel Motorcycle Club, and it's going to be a good time. And then there's more after that. There's so much more after that. I'm going to go see. The one I'm looking forward to is Michael Schenker in October, but I'm also going to see Alice Cooper again in September. And there's some in between. I just can't come up with them right now. But this is a hell of an area where I live, Barry, where the concerts are not too big. You know what I mean? Like stadium wise, and plenty of blues flowing, and a lot of good time. That's what it's all about for me and the Queen.
All right,
Molly, I'm serious about that. Okay, we're gonna do that.
I'm telling you, that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna fly into you. I'll stay with you one night or so. We'll go. I'll just take a week or so vacation.
You'll be like Siegfried from Get Smart. You can sleep with the dogs.
Oh, awesome! I love pups. We'll go from there. We'll hang out with Barry for a day or so. Then maybe we'll hit back Long Island, and then we'll make a big circle. We'll go Pennsylvania, upstate New York, come back down to Long Island, back to Pennsylvania, and then I got to get my ass home. Fair enough?
Yeah. Well, it says August 12th to the 14th, so.
Okay. All right.
This is all on you, though. You're going to have to set the date. Tell us when you're coming.
I'll do it.
I got pick your. Oh, by the way, by then you're going to be a star, like a Hollywood star? Or?
No, it won't even
I need
be
to
out
pick up in a limo with a red carpet or what?
No, you guys won't see anything until December, so I won't be a big star until 2023. I'm still just a humbled young man right now.
He'll always be one.
I will. You're right. Listen, this thing takes off. Woohoo! We're gonna have some fun, boys. Anyway, with that being said, Barry, I'm really interested in doing this. So, and I owe Kotzi a trip anyway. So, it looks like it's a weekend and everything else. I might want to. I don't know if you got like a little celebrity game, or well, I don't want to say celebrity game, but if you got a little type of game, I'll strap on some skates and talk.
Not in August. Nothing's gonna happen in August. You're in August. You're baseball season.
Oh yeah, that's right.
That easy sport.
So, and then I know Beth is all in Long Island, so when we come back to the Long Island trip, we can meet up with them too. So that's a good plan. I think that's what we're gonna do. Okay, we've talked really very little hockey. Well, we've talked some hockey. We've talked a little bit of everything. If you guys love this show and love our craziness, you got to subscribe. Barry said he missed my rants. Do I rant that much?
No, you're usually good for one good one every show. So that's what it's all about.
People love when I rant because I'm passionate.
There you go. You can play a game of ball hockey up in the rink.
Yes, I'm all about ball hockey. Let's do it. Yes, I'm all about. We'll have a ball hockey game. I'm going to score like 6 goals. I'm a ball hockey champion. I'm going to bring a friend or two.
I scored so many goals playing street hockey growing up. There isn't a number high enough to count them all.
I love it, man. Oh, my God. Hey, Barry, I'm going to try it. I'm going to check Kotze when he's not looking.
You better start lifting weights.
I'm not too bad.
You better start lifting weights, big boy.
I want to play on Kotze's team. Never mind.
Because once the stick gets in my hand, it still reminds me.
Whacking. I better have them mind-like pads on my.
Hey, listen, Blaine Stoughton said it best. I asked him one time, "You need any help in the corners when guys are, giving you the busy?" Goes Kotze. Says, as long as I got a stick in my hand, I'm not afraid of anybody.
Right. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
It was a good one-liner back from him. I said, all right, Stash, you go ahead.
That is good freaking stuff. All right. So
let me jump in now here, big boy. One of your favorite players is being semi-rumored being traded.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell everybody.
That would be Philip Hedl. There's a rumor of him, Jean-Luc Dubois or whatever from Winnipeg. I know it's just a rumor, but I don't see how that could happen because, first of all, Dubois still got 2 years left after this year, I guess, on a $6 million contract. He's already informed Winnipeg that when his contract time's up, he's not coming back there. He's going to go free agent. Right. And I'm thinking how the Rangers would. I mean, this guy would definitely fit as a second line center behind Zibanejad. But now you got a cap problem. How are you going to fit that money in? Well, some of the rumors are that not only would you trade Hedl to make this deal, you would trade. They're bringing up names like Kakko, Lafreniere, Schneider.
See, I'm not interested.
2 out of those 3, I would not make that deal with. I would not trade Lafreniere, and I would not trade Schneider. Okay, not a chance.
Interested. No, I'm
Schneider's not. Listen, Schneider, in my opinion, is going to be a stud.
I like Schneider. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. But you can't fit him in. This is the rumor, though. It's just all a rumor. I would hope Chris Drury doesn't think about this one too long, personally, but that's one of the rumors. The other rumor is that I think Mott's going to resign, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to resign like Kopp and Strome either. Because of the money that they're going to be asking. Like Strome's not going to take less than. He's already making $4 million or something like that. He's going to want 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'm not a big.
You can't pay him.
I don't care if Strome goes. I would like to keep Kopp.
But he's already making 3 point something. Isn't he like 3.7? I think.
Yeah, Kopp at the right price. Yeah, but I'd keep Kopp before I kept Strome. I'm not a big Strome fan. I'm sorry. I never have been. I never thought he was the right sentiment for Panarin, to be honest with you. Everyone's like, oh, they have chemistry. The year before they did well, blah, 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 blah. I just don't – I don't have that with Strome. I just don't feel like he's a big-time – I don't feel like he's a big-time clutch kind of guy. I don't feel like he's just – I feel like he's not right. But, Kotz, there has been a lot of rumor and a lot
I've also heard Panarin.
Well, that's what I was just going to bring up.
Okay.
There's been a lot of talk about – Drury's comments about Panarin, upset Panarin, now Panarin, and is Panarin, and now people talking Panarin. I don't think it's going to come to fruition. And I'll tell you what.
He's got too much money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think he can unload him. I mean,
11 million?
Yeah, he scored
92. You can't unload that. You're not going to unload that.
I think you can. But my point being here is I don't think he's going to. I mean, the guy signs Kravtsov when he cried that he didn't make the team and he wanted to be traded, and he gets signed to a one-way contract. Now he's got to play next year if he ever comes up. He's got a one-way. So once he makes the team, if he plays one game in the NHL, he's got to clear waivers. And I don't think he would. with that being said, I don't think anything's going to come to fruition with the Panarin. I think it's just a lot of scuttlebutt. I think it's just a lot of frustration. I think it's a lot of passion, and I think it'll go away. I think the Rangers want to keep him. I don't see why you wouldn't want to keep him. Just think that he needs a better sentiment. Um, and, as we're talking about, I would like to see them keep Cop. I think Mott's going to hit the wayside. I think Strome's going to hit the wayside. I think they keep Cop. You know, I don't. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do to solidify a sentiment that can be the 1A to Zibanejad. That's the one key that I'm looking to
Well,
see.
there are some pretty good young kids coming up too that might make that splash next year. But I don't know. I'll throw this at you. What about making Lafreniere the number 2 center, giving him a shot at center?
Well, I tell you what, what I really liked about Lafreniere more than anything, and Katsu, you've talked about this throughout the years that I've known you, and it's got to be, we got to know each other 12 years now, 13 years.
Yeah.
But the thing I liked about Lafreniere, and you speak about this a lot of times about players coming up, Lafreniere adapted his game in the playoffs. He wasn't scoring big goals, wasn't making big passes, but he was taking the body. He was doing what was asked of him. He was never a liability. The kid line actually had some really good games. They scored big goals throughout. But Lafreniere adapted really well to his strengths and against his weaknesses and filled a role that he was asked to fill. And that shows a lot of maturity, and it shows you why he's the number 1 pick. And that's why I'm very high on this kid. I think that's a great point. Put him in a slot, give him the minutes, and let's see. Let's kind of cash out on him, and let's see. Let's see, man. We're all in, kid. The chips are on the table. Let's see what you got.
Well, it might be a good thing to do, in my opinion, because I think he's a responsible enough player on both ends that now you give him a centerman gets to roam. Okay, he gets to roam all over the ice, where he doesn't have to stay on one side, pick up his wing, pick up this, pick up that. He gets to go all over. And I think Lafreniere is responsible enough to understand the defensive side, but I think it might open up the offensive side of the game if you put him with a Panarin. You know what I mean? I think people are probably thinking, that's great and all that. What he did in the playoffs for the Rangers, adapting to, something that he's not used to. But until you show something a little bit more on the offensive side, you're not going to be used that way. That's just the way it is. And unfortunately, like everybody expected him to be, like right off the bat, like a superstar right off the bat and get 100 points every year. It might take him a little longer. I mean, I like him. He works hard. He tries hard. And I'm not giving up on him yet. But I think that might be a good opportunity for him to really start to, grow his game and mature his game a little bit by throwing him at center. Give him a shot behind Zibanejad. Give him those minutes and see what happens. Instead of playing left wing, right wing, left wing, right wing.
Right.
That's just me. That's just me. That's my thought.
I don't disagree. You know who else I'd like to see really get a shot? Well, excuse me.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You're allowed to hear it.
I'm sorry. I really am. Gucci. I like this kid. I really like this kid, Kotz. You mentioned his ability, but he's a big kid, big, strong kid. His ability to drive the puck to the net. I know he hasn't finished, but he's young. And I hope that he really gets a designated spot in, third line.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that, but I got a funny feeling like it's funny how like organizations, it's not just the New York Rangers, where the leash is longer for certain players, aka Hedel, and then a guy like Gauthier, his leash might not be that long. They might let him go this summer. You know what I mean? That's what I'm kind of hearing.
Yeah, I mean, that's disappointing.
Gautier's game from his end zone, from his own zone to their net is really good.
Yeah.
But he just can't finish. So I'm trying to think now. If you can't finish,
put somebody on his line that can.
It kind of reminds me of who? Who scored 52 goals for the Rangers this year?
Yeah.
So maybe Gauthier should lay off the end-to-end rushes and just plant his big ass in front of the net. He's 6'4". He's 218, 220 pounds.
Yeah.
You're not going to move that guy either.
Right.
Instead of trying to be that dipsy doodle guy that does it all the time. He was doing it in junior apparently, but he hasn't been able to finish it in the NHL. So maybe a little less carrying of the puck and head to the net and let somebody feed you. I don't know.
Honestly, Kotz, I mean, let's be smart around him. If he's going to do that, just pick up the garbage. Just pick up the garbage from the kid.
Well, you and I have discussed this before.
You know?
You gotta know who you're playing with. You gotta know what their tendencies are. And I don't think sometimes – I think because the NHL today is more emphasized about, it's all about speed, which I agree with to a point. It's also about intelligence too. You still have to have intelligence that's part of your game. It can't be all speed. It can't be all brawn and just be, let's grunt our way everywhere. So if I'm playing with a guy like him that gets to the net all the time, shit. If I'm left winger or centerman, as soon as he's taking off down the right boards, I'm heading right to the net. I'll beat him there. You know what I mean? Yeah. I agree with you. There's so many tangibles that you can get through. I like his game, but I got a feeling, he's going to be on the outside looking in somehow, some way. Because there's other guys coming, Paulie. There's other kids from junior that finished their years. There's other guys,
Yeah.
That's what it is.
We'll have a game of ball hockey up on the rink.
Well, I told you that.
I'm in. I like that, Barry. I'm in.
I'm retiring from any hockey activities, so I'll coach.
No, you're gonna be the ref.
No referee.
What about roller hockey? Can we play some roller hockey, Bear? Should I bring my skates? I'll put them in my luggage. All right. Anyway.
Hey, what do you got? What do you got left here, big boy? We only got a few more minutes, so it's going to be. What do you got next?
What
do I have? I have some stuff written down. Did I miss?
What do you got? Bring it.
I don't know. I'm trying to think here.
Chris cuts out.
I got another one for you too. They have an early. There's an early ranking for next year already as Stanley Cup favorites.
Oh, big boy.
Early ranking already. I only got the top three. I didn't look at the rest of them, but number one is obviously Colorado. Number two is your favorite team, Tampa. And guess who's in at number three?
Stop it. Really?
It's the New York Rangers.
Wow.
One of the early models has them ranked number three.
Wow. Who does?
It was on the NHL website.
Wow.
And then ranked number three going into next season for Stanley Cup. So
wow, that's pretty awesome. I mean, hey,
Again, it could have been with a couple of bad, breaks here and there. It could have been them playing Colorado, getting their ass whooped.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know that they would have fared well.
They probably would have taken them 5 or 6 for sure.
Yeah,
just a Shesterkin goal,
Yeah, I just think that Colorado is fantastic. I tell you, not only Makar, but the whole team is fantastic. But I really watched Nathan McKinnon too, and I tell you, he's a really powerful. He's a powerful guy. He's not shy to muck it up in the half boards. He's very strong with the puck. I don't want to say Yager-like, but he must have tree trunk legs, man, because the guy is pretty strong. He's pretty strong when he's got the puck. And if he don't want to give it to you, you're not going to get it from him. Unless you double team him or something like that. But he's a very gifted player. He's got great hands, real strong, just a lot of fun to watch. I would say McDavid probably has a little more speed and a little.
I think they're both probably pretty quick at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, would you say 1A and 1B, or how do you rate McKinnon?
Well, you know how I judge. I don't just judge them by their straightaway speed. I judge them how fast they are with the puck.
Yeah.
And if you watch them both, they're pretty damn fast with the puck. Some guys can skate without the puck faster than a speeding bull, as they say. And then you give them the puck, and then all of a sudden they skate like Kotze. You know what I mean? Some guys just can't skate with the puck. These two guys you just mentioned can skate with the puck. Lisa, can you give me a beer, please?
Sold those things that you ate.
My waitress is getting me another beer, so I don't have to leave the screen. Boss, come here. Come here, say hello to Uncle Paulie. Come here. Come here, big boy. Can you see him? There he is. Look at that. There's Boss.
Look at that big lug. I'm gonna mush him.
You'll be sleeping with him.
Hey, Paulie.
Hi. He's gonna be my best friend. That pup.
He'll be your bird dog. The female won't be though. We might have to keep her away from you.
I'm gonna play with her too.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if we'll allow you two to get together. We kind of keep her separate from people. She's one tough dog, and
tough show.
She's 155 pounds, Paulie, and if she wants to tear you apart, trust me,
she will.
Yeah, unfortunately. But getting back to the McKinnon thing again, I think both those guys, like David McKinnon, Matthews, it's how fast they are with the puck.
Yeah,
is what amazes me. It's not without the puck. There's a lot of guys that can go straight fast. But now you got to give them a puck, which means they got to go little right, little left, little right, little left, little right. Yeah. And these guys don't lose any speed at all. Those guys we just mentioned at all.
Yeah. It was fun to watch. It was fun to watch. But I'll tell you what, that Colorado Avalanche team, not only McCarr's got some silver there, but I tell you what, I was reading a lot about their coach because it really wasn't privy on him. I didn't know where he came from.
Yeah, he's won in three leagues.
He's won in East Coast Hockey League, the American Hockey League, and the NHL. So the guy's got something. He knows how to coach,
Well, and you got to give Joe Sakic and his office credit for sticking with the guy because they went through some really, really shitty seasons 4 or 5 years ago. You know what I mean? They stuck with this guy.
Yeah. Well, we talked about it before the playoff, before it started. We looked. They got past the first round a couple years, got knocked out in the second round. They've earned their way to get here where they are. You gotta suffer some loss and feel that on your way to the top because when you lose, you got to gain some experience from that and realize what you did right, what you did wrong, and how you got to make the adapt. How do you adapt and how do you make how do you get further? So I don't know, man. I haven't looked at their cap situation and where they're at, but this team's a scary team, and it looks like
Kadri's a free agent.
Yeah, well,
and he's going to want big money, and he'll probably get it.
Yeah.
He's already let him know that he wants to stay there, but he's also thrown in that you see what my worth was. I know what I'm worth, and they know what I'm worth to the team.
Does free agency start tomorrow? Is it the first?
I don't know when it starts. It's got to start pretty soon. It's got to start pretty soon.
I would imagine.
I'm not sure if it starts tomorrow or after the draft or whatever. I don't know. Barry, you should know that. Barry, give us a little whatever.
Barry or Beth. I think
Barry says he's got old games with me playing with the Rangers and the Whalers, and along with a few playing in the AHL.
whoa, big boy.
Barry, did you get them colorized?
Technicolor.
Barry,
Absolutely.
listen, I would love to come up there. And you know what, Barry? I'm going to say it to you now. I just love to talk to some of the guys who played in the minor leagues and stuff like that, because those are basically most of the guys that usually bring in stuff like that. And remember, I started in the IHL, so I know all about that crap. I know all about playing in the small towns and riding the buses and having the voracious fans from one building and another that wanted to kill you when you were in the opposite team. I mean, some of the leagues they played in, and I know I played in the IHL. It made Slapshot look like a piece of cake. The movie Slapshot looked like a piece of cake. So I'd love to just chat with these guys.
I had some time to watch a little bit of The Goon. It was really fun. It was actually really fun.
I watched the first one. There was two.
It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Well, listen. The leagues were like that. I played in one like that, and it was the only time in my life playing hockey. It was my first year as a pro, and I was 19, Paulie. Okay, see that little shit peach fuzz on your face? I didn't even have that then. Okay, and I'm playing against these guys that were lifetime minor league. Rock 'em, sock 'em, stick to stick through your face, whatever. Yeah. So I'll be the first to admit it. You played the game, but were we actually thinking about the game of hockey when we stepped on the ice down that? No. I was more worried about, okay, big boy, make sure you don't get killed here tonight.
Right.
I mean, that was on your mind foremost before actually thinking about playing the game of hockey.
Right.
That's how dangerous the league was. That's how fucked up it was.
I love it.
It was. I'm telling you, these guys will tell you. Barry's buddies will tell you. It's the same shit. I saw the first time the tin foil on hands. You saw in Slapshot. You know what I mean? To fight a guy, they put the tin foil to cut your face. I saw all that shit, man. I saw all that crap.
Barry's got some golf going on too. Kotze might know a little bit about golf. I mean, I suck, so I'll play best ball. That's the best I got.
Well, here's the other problem, though, Barry. Where do we get to sleep?
We'll figure it out. I mean, we'll get a room.
Get us the cheapest room there. One bedroom. Paulie can sleep on the floor.
No, I don't sleep on floors, and I got no problem splurging for a room for us, big boy.
Make sure you bring that mug with you.
I know, right? I'm going to bring this mug with me, that's for sure.
You know what you got to bring is a dozen or two T-shirts and start, hey, boys, for sale.
I might have a couple to give away. We'll see. But, I really want to plan this, so we'll talk about it.
You got to crack. It's only a month and a half away, big boy.
I know. Well, I'm the one flying. You don't have anything to worry about. So I got to fly into you. We got to do a tour, and then I got to fly out from there. So I'll take a look at flights here in the next couple of days. With that being said, I mean, we've reached our time. I don't really care. I got a couple other things, we could bullshit about, whatever you want to do. But
I can't wait for hockey to start again because I've already I've done that in the past, but I've done it already. Is I've made sure that no baseball gets on my TV. So I got the that thing on my TV that won't allow baseball. I don't want to watch that crap. No offense, guys, but that's just the way it is. I'm certainly not going to watch anything else. The only thing I'll watch now on sports is golf once in a while. Otherwise, it's TCM, Turner Classic Movies, or all the car shows for me.
I love baseball, everyone, especially my New York Yankees. But yeah. So anyway, it's fun to watch when you're there.
Wake me when it's over, okay?
Yeah. Well, you know what? I watch baseball, but I don't watch football.
I have watched the Three Ice League. I'm not sure what to take about it, Barry. You heard about the Three Ice League?
No, I know nothing about it.
It's like they got like 5-6 players a team, including your goalie, and it's 3-on-3 ice hockey. But there's no hitting allowed, Paulie. So there's no hitting at all. Not allowed. But you got a lot of guys that played. You got a lot of guys that played in the minors, college, pros. I watched it. I've watched it a couple of times. I don't know if it'll catch on, Barry. To be quite honest with you. I hope it does because there's some good people running it. I know that. You're coming to Hershey. Now he's coming to Hershey. That's like an hour and 45 minutes for me.
There you go. Well,
but, I've watched it, Barry. It was interesting. They get money. You know, who's coaching in it? Like John LeClaire's coaching in it.
really?
Larry Murphy's coaching.
Oh boy.
Joey Mullen was coaching one team. I think Guy Carbonell was coaching another. I'm not positive on the Guy Carbonell. Steve Baker's involved with it. The goaltender that I play with in New York and New Haven.
July 13th starts free agency because Beth is always on the puck.
July 13th. I forgot about him. I can't get them all, Barry. The ones that I watched, none of those guys were in the coach, and they had lost already. They play like round robin in one day, Paulie. There's three ice thing. They'll play like 3-4 games.
Jeez.
And at the end, whoever wins, they get paid.
So it's really? So it's 3-on-3 with goaltenders.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't hit anybody though. That's the sucky part. There's no hitting at
Penalties, power plays. How does it?
It's almost like watching some of the NHL games. No hitting.
Yeah, power plays. Do they have power plays?
There's power plays, but no power plays. Penalty shots. They give if somebody takes a penalty, player starts at his own blue center ice. He takes off with the puck, and everybody else lines up in the blue line behind him. And they chase him. So,
really?
It's interesting. It's like a shootout on the penalty every time.
I gotta see it. So, can you get the rebound?
The game continues. If they doesn't score, yeah.
So you can pounce on a rebound then.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Huh. It's interesting. I'm gonna look into it.
There's some weird rules to it, but
there's one called it's a penalty shot. Yeah, that's what Barry confirmed. So you've been watching a little bit of that.
I watched it one weekend. I said there's nothing else on. I mean, there was nothing else on at the time. It wasn't like I said. I wasn't gonna watch. Wasn't gonna watch snooze ball. That's for sure.
What was it on that you watched it though? What network?
Oh, that's a good question. ESPN maybe or CBS? I think it was on the one of the sports networks, CBS Sports Network.
All right.
I get.
I'll look for it. That's interesting. It's interesting. So listen, let's kind of close this thing up a little bit. I want to get some of the pleasantries out of the way.
Yeah.
And the information coming forth. So, like I said, please share the podcast, the old podcast, whatever you guys want to do. I'm going to be pumping up. Stay on the Instigators Hockey Facebook page. We're going to keep you updated. I'm going to have Beth doing a little work here and there, posting all the fun stuff. And, we can talk and chat. But, I want to make sure everyone understands for next season, I'm really going to put the work in, and we're looking for the support. So we're going to be looking for advertisements. We're going to be looking for everyone sharing and being a part of. Obviously, we plan on bringing everybody with us. So this is a unified front here. This is the Instigators Hockey Show. So,
Paulie, I asked, at the beginning of the year, I thought we were going to bring guests on. It never worked out because due to time constraints and us not being, in cohesion at the beginning of it. We're definitely bringing on guests next year. We're not going to keep them on for an hour or anything like that, unless it goes really good. You know that.
Right.
I got lots of people in mind again, and I do want to stress what you said about advertising. We'll figure out a way how to do a 30-second commercial or something or whatever by mouth on air, whatever. We're gonna add videos, like you said, when we talk about a topic, here's a video of what we're talking about. Sometimes stuff like that. And I know you're going to continue, but I'm just going to finish with this too, and I'll let you wrap it up. I want to thank everybody and anybody who's taken the time to listen to us go at it on here. I personally, and I think Paulie's in with me on this too, we don't want to be those stiffs that you see on TV every day. We don't want to be those stiffs that are, so tight and, curt and polite and we don't want to burn anybody's bridges. We're going to tell you how we think it is. We may not be right all the time, okay? I'll admit that. But at least we're going to tell you what we think. And I think that's what makes us a little bit more unique than all the other guys. Yeah, we'll throw an F-bomb here. We'll throw this there. We'll throw the. I'm never going to destroy a fan, though, of a team. Okay, period. Right. Let Paulie do that with the Tampa guys. That's not me. I will destroy players when needed. And I will destroy organizations when needed. Okay? But I'm not going to sit there and rip fans. But I'm going to tell you how it is. This is what I think. Why would we step up here and go through all this to sit here and tell you lies? That we're going to fake it. We're not faking it. Paulie and I have never faked it from the podcast that we did, the radio show that we did. We've never faked it one time. That's all there is to it. Again, you may not agree with us. You may not like it. But you know what? You will listen. Thank you.
Yeah. So here's a funny bit. If we're going back to the Instigators, if you guys want some history, because we have some, I started this podcast. It was called the Paulie D Radio Program. And I actually started coming out of broadcasting school for ball hockey. And I got involved in Blog Talk Radio, met Chris there on another show. I'm not going to mention the show. And Chris and I became best of friends and, just rolled with one of the biggest shows on Blog Talk Radio for many, many years. And I have to tell you, I'm so proud of who and what we've done and how we've done it. We've never gave up the integrity of our show. And when I say that's important. We never sold out. Because I'll be honest with you, first of all, Chris Kotsopoulos has turned down others. We've turned down people to go commercialized. That's not what we're about. We're about bringing the topics. We were in the Globe and Mail, Park Life magazine, everything. You know what we were talking about? We were talking about people like Kirk Walker and Dignity After Hockey and the guys that were sleeping in their kids' basements and how the NHL forgot about the guys who played this game and suffered terrible, terrible losses and under Alan Eagleson. That's the stuff we talked about. We brought the ugly out in the NHL, and we put it out so people could see and understand and feel. And I take a lot of pride in that. When we did interviews with a purpose. We never sat here and stroked anybody and talked about the glory days of the NHL. We've always stuck to the premise that we're going to instigate the topics that nobody else wants to talk about. And if they talk about it, they shoot it aside, they keep it small, and they move on. We talked about the sexual allocations. We've talked about things, and we've brought different spectrums to people. And that's why I'm so proud of this show, because we've never been commercialized. We've never worried about what people thought of our show. And we were never politically correct for a lot of reasons. And I'm very passionate about that. Chris Kotsopoulos played 12, 13 years professional hockey plus minor leagues and everything else. You don't think this guy could get some cherry gig talking shit about hockey like everybody else? He can. He knows the game. If the guy wanted, he could be coaching somebody right now. But,
I don't know about that.
but the point of this is that with the show, Chris and I have always been true to what the show has been about. And it's always been about bringing the information to people, to the fans, to those that wanted to listen, and to really show every side, not just the ice cream side, because this game's not about ice cream. And I will personally admit that I feel, and if everyone has heard me in my rants, and I will continue to do so. I think Gary Bettman is wrong for the game of hockey, and I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. But I'm probably the only one that keeps banging my fist on the desk, saying the guy's got to go if we want to improve the game. And I feel that way in my heart. It's not all about dollars and cents. I think the NHL has started to make their dollars and cents, but there's a lot about this game that has been changed. And we talked about it and talked about it. How many times did Chris bring up the fact that the guys now hide behind the rule book way ever before? Matter of fact, you mentioned it to me before we started the show. Guys skate up to the goalie after he makes a save, and they just stand in the crease. Why is that? You weren't doing that shit when Chris Kotsopoulos on the ice because you'd have a coho across your mouth, man. You're not going to stand in front of my goalie. You're not going to talk to my goalie. Are you fucking kidding me? Well,
I agree. I know.
It's just
You're
one of those little things, you know?
Again, as we end, like we're going to end this show, but I think that the way we do it, Paulie, is the way people want in a bar. I can remember being in bars, and this is the way the people would ask me questions, ask me what it's like. They didn't want to hear the sugar-coated bullshit, they heard every day on TV and, through the newspapers. And so they wanted to hear the dirt and what's behind the scenes, how ugly it can be and how nice it can be, all that in between. That's the way I look at this show. I look at this show as like, well, we're doing it. We like to have a few while we're doing it because I think that's just us. Like we're in a bar, we're talking sports. You're watching a game that night. It could be like you're watching your baseball. We're doing a baseball show. We're doing a football show. We're doing a hockey show, which is still a sport that needs to grow in America. We're doing the best we can to get you involved in it. And I'm never going to pull punches. I mean, I could give two shits what people think when it comes down to it in the end. I just want you to understand that you're going to get unfiltered what we believe is true. That's just the way it is. If you don't like it, there's a thing on the side that tells us we're full of shit. Okay, that's great. I can take that. I'm a big boy. You know what I mean? But I want it to be that way. I don't ever want it to be to the point where, like you said at the beginning of your little speech there, I don't want it to be a point where, well, Gary Bettman's done a pretty good job. And the guy's fucking lying through his teeth when he says that on TV. I don't want it to be that way.
Right.
I don't want it that way. I want if you think that, that's great. That's good for you. If you think he's a great guy, that's great. Maybe he is a great guy. You and I differ. We think that he's done some good things, but he's also done some bad things about the NHL. Okay?
Yeah.
Those are the facts, and that's the way we're going to talk. And if we ever change from that, guess what? That'll be the end of the show. Yeah. I don't want to fucking do this. I don't want to do it their way. We're going to do it our way. It's called the Instigators. Yeah. Paulie D and Chris Kotsopoulos. That's all there is to it.
That's it, man. It's unfortunate because I reached out to Blog Talk Radio because as time goes by, believe it or not, our episodes get erased. And so it kind of breaks my heart. I was going to sign back up just to kind of
Are you going to get the Ovechkin? No, it's Ovechkin.
Well, no, I have that. I'm talking about our actual episodes.
Oh, with the interviews. Oh, my God. We had some everybody. We had Bubba. We had Steve Vickers. We had Nikki Fattia. We had Kurt Walker. We had
Greshner, Ron Dugan.
Oh, God.
Yep.
I had some coaches from college and stuff like that. Remember?
Yep.
We had a lot of good guys on there.
We sure did. So much for Blaine Stoughton. We had so much fun.
I forgot about Blaine. Yeah.
Yeah, we had Blaine Stoughton. We had so much. We had we had the Hartford Whalers owner on there.
Howard Baldwin Jr. Yeah.
Yes.
Little Bubba.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a lot. We accomplished a lot. We did a lot. And the point I was getting to this is I just got reconnected with Billy Pepitone, who used to write our articles after the show and post.
He just disappeared from my life too.
Billy went into politics and kind of got off social media and stuff. So I just got connected with him. He's such a great writer, and I have every story he wrote on us, and the power behind him. I loved it. With that being said, it just makes I want everyone to understand that Chris and I have a long history, and the show has a long history. We went from radio to now podcasting. Next year, I promise you a dynamic programming. We're going to incorporate video. We're going to bring people in. We'll probably have a writer for the show. We're going to have a lot of different things that are really going to make this thing work and blow up. So,
I'm going to stop you there again. And then one more thing I want people to know. Paulie D, a.k.a. Scaglione, actually works for living people.
Yeah.
So
I sure do.
I'm like the little bear cub playing with his wee-wee here when it comes to the electronic world, okay? Actually, I'll say it, bear cub playing with his prick, okay? I know enough to get on this show. I know enough to turn this on, that, but I don't know all the ins and outs about starting, how to get on StreamYard, this, that. I mean, I'll admit it, I'm naive. So bear with us when something goes wrong or this doesn't work or that doesn't work, because Paulie works a full day, and he rushes home, eats faster than my dog Boss, which is a miracle, okay? And then sits in front of this screen here while I've been sitting here doing shit all day. Actually, I did work out today, okay? You understand what I'm saying? So give Paulie, Paulie should get a big hand, tip your hat to you, Paulie, for all the bullshit.
I love the hell out of you. You're a good man, and you've been one of my best friends in all the world. The thing people don't know is that, this show started, I had never met Chris.
Yeah, I know a lot about your life that a lot of people don't know.
Yeah. Chris and I, we would communicate strictly by phone, and I met him probably after the first year. Chris brought me into the Frozen Four with him and Bill Schweitzer when they were here in Tampa.
Lisa and I met in New York for a game, remember?
Yep. So a lot of really cool stuff. Chris and I go way back, and he's one of my best friends in the world. But I will tell everyone, and I really want everyone to understand, the one who really helped me make this all happen this year, because like Chris said, I'll be honest with you, I work a full-time job. I have a lot going on, and I'm not trying to tout myself or anything. I'm just explaining.
Well, I'm very passionate because it's not easy.
I'm very passionate about this program, and one of the reasons why I kind of let the program go is because I'm 100%. I'm 100% in. I'm an old school Italian. If I give you something, I'm giving you all of it. So I was giving 100% of the 10% I had left. So the only way to really move the show along was to get help. And I have to tell you, Beth has been phenomenal. And Beth, a lot of the reason why this show is on the air right now is because Beth has been at the beck and call and has just been so good to us. I'll text her last minute, hey, we're going to do a show. Hey, can you help me with topics? Hey, can you get me this information? Hey, can you get me that information? And she's right on it. And she's been so good. And next year, I really, really, really want to push advertisement and things like that, because Beth deserves a bigger resume than what she's getting right now. But she really does produce the show, everyone.
I think maybe, Paulie, we should get a don't take this personally, Beth. Maybe a threesome here. Put the other screen up. She can be in there talking. She knows her shit. Come on.
Well, I've actually offered that to her before. We're going to work on that. She's going to come guest appear next year. She went through a lot this year, and she's just a doll. She's, it's not easy to beat cancer and go through chemo and radiation and everything else. So,
she's such a fervent fan of the Rangers and hockey, and you know what I mean? Still crazy about it. I'm laughing at you too, Beth. I know you got what I meant. Anyhow, the other thing, Barry's got a question. How the heck do you sit through a whole show without having to take a leak? You know how, Barry? Because we're professionals.
Hey, Beth, we're a throuple. We're calling it a throuple. Anyway, all right. With all that fun shit out of the way, I want to say we love you. Thank you very much. We're going to keep bringing you crazy programming here on the Instigators Hockey Show. That's the best. We love her very much. I can't thank my co-host enough, Chris, one of my best friends in the world, just a stand-up guy, loyal,
See you in
dedicated,
August.
good man. Jack Collins, hey, the girl knows hockey. That's right, man.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, again, I just want to thank everybody. It's been a pleasure. It always is. And for that, I got nothing left, man. I'm out of gas.
That's it, man. Let's go Rangers. Let's go Leafs. Those are my teams.
Let's go Rangers. Let's go Leafs. I mean, I could love the Leafs a little bit. I could love the Leafs a little bit. But
They should have been, but they didn't.
Barry, we're gonna make plans, so we'll be in touch. I'm gonna talk to Chris. Let me get through the rest of this week. It's been hellacious. I just got
Barry,
back.
you remember the movie with Jack Nicholson as the Joker? Where do they get a load of me? Where do you get a load of us, Barry?
Yeah. Just make sure there's a lot of cold beer because I
I can honestly tell you, though, I've never really drank the well dry with Paulie. I don't know if he's a minor leaguer, pro, or what yet. We'll have to find out.
Oh boy,
We've never done that yet. You and I you've had a few, but never.
we've had a few.
Midnight
After work. Yeah.
midnight came around and you turned into a pumpkin and had to go home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we're gonna figure it out. I plan on it this summer, so it sounds good. All right. With that being said, thank you everyone. Make sure you share this, subscribe, like it, and let's get rocking and rolling for next year. We'll talk to you soon. Let's go Rangers. Good night.
See ya.
All right. And that's the end of the broad.